Here today at National Black TV, we have none other than our guest speaker, Mr. Howard. He's going to give us his rendition on what we need to do in order to bring about change in the African American community and throughout the world. We got some questions that we would like to ask him in reference to our community and what we need to do. He has a lot of information, of course, and we would like to find that information out. So, Mr. Howard, earlier we were talking and you were sharing with me the differences between HBCUs and traditional colleges in America. And what is it that we as an African American community need to do in order to change the paradigm within our community right now in terms of education on the college level?
Well, Stanley, I believe that it's very important to understand some of the actual differences between the two college and university systems.
Right.
I really do believe that as HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, that we have to, it's very important that we put an end to trying to imitate the white or the predominantly white mainstream university system, which is a nice system, mind you. However, our dynamics work differently because of the background, because of the experiences of the culture of the predominantly black institutions and the people that make up, the students that make up these universities, our universities, and what the forefathers of these and the people who started these universities, grassroots, and what their original mission and plan was for these particular universities. I believe we have deviated from those original missions, and we have turned into carbon copies of the predominantly white systems. I have attended both, whether it be research, academics, or both, so I have a diverse experience around this nation, some being from the HBCU side, the Elizabeth City State University, North Carolina A&T University, on the predominantly white institutional side, the UNC, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Duke University, the University of Oklahoma, University of Georgia in Athens. So I mean, I've dealt with these schools.
Let me ask you this then. Let me be more specific.
Yes.
What schools that you receive your degrees at?
Okay. Elizabeth City State University, where I received my bachelor's in biological chemistry.
Okay.
At Elizabeth City State University. A&T was genetic toxicology. And then I went on to do postgraduate research at Duke University in oncology and hematology, cancer and blood research. While at A&T, I was also doing a constituent program at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. I've done internships.
How many degrees do you have, Mr. Howard White?
Well, I have two official degrees, my master's and undergraduate in biological chemistry.
What schools did you get those 2 degrees at?
Those were from HBCUs, both at Elizabeth City State University and North Carolina A&T University. My research after that were at predominantly white institutions.
So
yes.
you received your degrees from historical black institutions.
Exactly.
Do you feel like historical black institutions are offering a curriculum that puts our community in position to be innovators? Do you feel like the degrees you receive from Elizabeth State University and North Carolina A&T University, were you an innovator after receiving those degrees?
Not initially. Not initially. I believe that not just at our historically black universities, but at predominantly white universities as well. I think the institution of education in this particular country is not geared, whether it be white predominant or black predominantly, the higher educational system in this country is not geared around teaching either of us how to be innovators.
Wow.
We're taught to be laborers. We're taught to be workers. We're taught in so many aspects as a majority.
And what you're saying right now, you're speaking about the entire American society.
Right.
And so a lot of conspiracy theorists would like to suggest and say, if you go to this institution or if you go to that institution, their ice is colder than someone else's ice. But from your analogy, you're trying to get me to understand it doesn't matter where you get your degree from. Once you get that degree, you're going to work for somebody and be a part of some system, not a system that you devise yourself.
Right. For the most part, that is true, Stan. However, there are specific universities and schools that's typically not publicly out there, and people are not quite as aware of as some others that actually do train their students to be leaders, to be innovators. But most of us in mainstream universities, we actually learn it on-the-job training, so to speak. You know, we get out there in the real world and wonder why our education is not working. Why is it not fulfilling the promise that we had fulfill the ideology that we had when we were in college of someday I'm going to head this company, or someday I'm going to, you know, be the vice president of this organization or that company. And then we find out that those types of lessons don't help get us there.
Let me ask you this, finally, in closing, and you can expound on it as you see fit. But I heard you make a statement in reference to mainstream universities. And there are some universities that are not mainstream that the masses of this population is not aware of?
Right. Yes. Now, what's important to understand is that these particular universities are not necessarily the mainstreams that we hear about. They're not necessarily the Harvard, the Yales, the Princetons, and that sort of thing. Schools such as and they're great schools, mind you, but they're schools like Colgate, Carnegie Mellon, these types of universities. A lot of times these universities enable their students. They train their students to be leaders going in. They're going in. I mean, the prerequisite going in, the students know that for the most part that they're going to come out and lead some innovative project in society.
Wow. At Fortune 500 companies?
At Fortune 500 companies.
And you're trying to tell me it's a hand-picked group of students that gets this opportunity in America?
It is. Very much so. Very much so.
And those are the people that run this nation?
Those are the ones who run this nation.
Wow. Here at National Black TV, folks, we have just got a huge dose of information from none other than Mr. Howard White. We want to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to bring this to you. Once again, send your emails, send your texts, send everything to National Black TV. We will respond to you. We're here, and we're always here, and we will continue to bring you the best information that's available. Stay tuned.